Philip, thank you very much for having me down here. Your beautiful yard near Minehead. It's a pretty nice spot to train from, I should think, isn't it?
Yeah, we're very fortunate, got a good position. It's maybe, you could ideally be a bit nearer to some of the race courses, but, you know, it works well.
And you've got pretty decent facilities established over a good few years.
Yeah, we started in '85, so a long time now, yeah. So the main things would be the polytrack that we school on, as well as canter on, and the wood chip and the mile and a half grass gallop. That would be the main, backed up by horse walkers, swimming pool and all the other things you need.
Excellent. And we saw a horse swimming earlier, actually, which was great. So, you happy with the general form of the yard, the way all the horses are running at present?
Particularly so, yeah. We've had a good season. Last season was below par. We had just under 60 winners, or just over 60 winners, which is hardly a disaster, but below par. So this season we've had 77, I think, so far. So we're on track to hopefully get back to the normal 100.
Yeah, and talking of those winners, we'll move on to some of those sort of key horses, looking at the big festivals coming up. One of which being Defi de Seuil, who was must have been pretty pleased to see him get another Grade 1 under his belt.
Very much so. All went very well, and he's in good form. And I'd imagine he'll run at Cheltenham in the JLT, the Novice Chase, 2.5 miles. So that's very much the plan, and he's 4-1 favourite at the moment. So we'll aim for that.
Excellent. And he's having a bit of a quiet time, but he's come out of it well. I saw him bucking and kicking in the yard earlier. He looks in good form.
Yeah, no, he's good. Yeah, he's everything fine. So we'll look forward to that.
Excellent. Is he particularly ground dependent?
Not in the slightest. When he won the Triumph earlier, it was good ground. He coats very well with heavy, so it doesn't matter.
Excellent. And JLT is absolutely because he did, I think, have an entry in the Arkle, but that wouldn't be a consideration.
I don't think so. I mean, obviously it has to be discussed, but I think it's unlikely.
Okay. And a few of the other horses you've got enter for Cheltenham. UMNDENI, forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, he lost his maiden tag at Fontwell last time, but you clearly think a bit of him. He's got entries in Supreme and Ballymore. Well,
obviously his entries are so close so far in advance that you've got to make entries and go from there. And I mean, to give you an idea, I mean, there's 180 entries in the Novice Hurdles and there'll be 18 runners. So, 1 in 10 aren't going to run. So entries have to be made, but whether you use them or not, it's a different matter. So it totally depends on his next run, which might be at Ascot on Saturday week, but I don't know.
Okay. JERRYSBACK, sort of quite a consistent type, but he didn't jump with his usual fluency at Haydock last time.
No, I was disappointed to get beaten. Having said that, the two others that had similar races to us were a mile behind, and a mare beat us that was the outside of the lot. So, no, difficult race to assess, and he probably ran below form.
Okay, but he would still be targeted towards the spring meetings?
Probably.
Okay, excellent. Horse I particularly like the look of, DEISE. He won a point in Ireland, I think, and then he came over and looked quite smart at Chepstow. Presumably he'll have another run, if possible, sort of before the festival, but might well go there.
Again, he has an entry, but it'll totally depend on his next run. So we'll see how we get on next time. He's more of a staying sort of horse, I would think. He's in the 2 races at Cheltenham, different distances, so we'll see how we get on when he runs next time.
Excellent. And Johnson was saying it doesn't necessarily show a lot at home, so the win at Chepstow was possibly a bit of a surprise, was it?
Yeah, he was a likeable horse, but I mean, he wouldn't be the quickest at home. But when you're doing most of your work at home over 5 furlongs, it's a bit different when you go in a 3-mile Novice Hurdle, isn't it? So, but liked his attitude. He wouldn't be the quickest in the world, but they don't have to be if they stay on soft ground.
Okay. OZZIE the Oscar. He looked very game at Cheltenham in December, but then, forgive my assessment, but possibly a bit less so at Doncaster, or was he just outclassed that day, do you think?
I think the main thing was probably the ground was a bit tacky, track was probably a bit easy. He probably needs a very stiff 2 miles or a bit further. So I'd imagine after that, that the Grand Annual is the likely race.
Okay, excellent. ZAFAR. He's yet to win, but it's made some good efforts in defeat. Do you think he might be a Triumph Hurdle horse?
Probably not. I think that Fred Winter's more likely, but we'll see again on his next run.
Okay. And where would that run likely be, or is it a bit up in the air?
Could well run at Fontwell or Hereford.
TRUCKIN Away. He was 3rd at Chepstow a few weeks ago. He does have an entry for the Albert Bartlett. Again, possibly, you said you made a lot of entries for that purpose, but he's obviously likeable.
Yeah, very much so. He won well at the first time at Fosslas. I think at Chepstow he showed us he definitely wants further. So he'll be running in a 3-mile Novice Hurdle before too long, and then we'll decide whether Cheltenham's possible.
A horse that I absolutely adore, Village Vic. He's now going hunter chasing. he should be seen to good effect in that sphere, shouldn't he?
Yeah, very much so. The only problem with Hunter Chase is a lot of them are 3 miles plus, and maybe now he's a bit older, he might go 3 miles, but I don't think we want further than that anyway. So he'll probably start a 2.5 mile Hunter Chase and see how we go from there.
Excellent. He's been leased by David Maxwell, is that right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Weight for me?
Weight for me would be very likely to go straight to Cheltenham for the Pro Temps final. Good ground would help him. He has been a bit disappointing in a way since he was placed in the champion bumper, but he's still achieved a level of form that will get him the handicap in the Pro Temps. So we very much think that will be his aim, and he won't run before.
Okay. No comment?
No comment. Would again depend on his next run.
Crooks Peak.
Crooks Peak, right. He'll probably run at Newbury on the 2nd of March, and then is a possibility for one of the handicaps at Cheltenham if all goes well there.
Excellent. And Springtown Lake we saw in the yard earlier as well.
Yeah, he's very well, could well be for either the 2.5 mile novice handicap at Cheltenham or the old Marmotor Fleet, which I think they changed the name of, but one of those races at Cheltenham anyway.
Okay, lovely. And the last horse that we saw out earlier, and I think your only entry for the Grand National, Rock the Kasbah. Yeah,
only entry, and he won't run before. He's been out the yard for a bit of a winter break. He seems in very good form. He won a decent race at Cheltenham back in November, and I think the 4.5 miles would suit him very well. He's always been a good jumper, which is obviously a plus. He's the right age for the race, and hopefully we'll get better ground. He can cope with softish, but he's better on better ground.
Okay, excellent. And actually look back at his form. He's won a race, I think, in every season he's run since 2014. So it's pretty consistent, nice horse to have around.
Well, I hope he hasn't won his one race this season already then. Let's hope he win 2.